It's just a beautiful shade of green. In fact, many shades of green. And the jungle comes right down. It's right down to sea level. I've never seen that before. I first saw it about 7 or 8 years ago, and I remember thinking how very much like the South Seas it was. There's no sense of any life around us except that which has to do with the making of the picture.
Setting foot on this dock marks the real beginning of the working day. This is the outer limit of Director Huston's location domain, 195 dazzling acres of jungle, mountain, and virgin seashore. There has never been a set quite like this. Across it, he is tracing Tennessee Williams' story of an unfrocked minister running amok in Mexico. Today's shooting will start at the top of the hill. Huston works with the most complex material in the world, people, sensitive people. Sue Lyon is 17. She started in movies as Lolita. James Ward is in his 20s. The Night of the Iguana gives him the big break that he's been looking for. Huston is friend and father to his actors, no matter what their age. He knows that the good ones usually coil up tight before they go to work.
After the reading, I told Mr. Huston, I said, I'm a little scared about all this. And he said, don't worry, it's going to be all right, I'm sure. And that was very comforting to me because I'm a very, what shall I say, a very nervous kind of person.
Here we go. Settle, boys. Hold it down. You want her to come in?
At first, Ava Gardner and the others just walk and wait. It doesn't seem to have much to do with changing the cold type of a script into living sights and sounds. It does. The time isn't wasted. Huston is sensing the mood of his people, setting up an atmosphere. Talking casually with set visitors like Elizabeth Taylor is part of it. Millions of dollars are riding on his ability to pick the right moment to begin shooting.
I think he has the remarkable capacity that very few directors have of persuading you that you're a very good actor and that you're the only one who's suitable for the role that you're playing, which is very desirable. He's also got the talent of elimination. Having persuaded you that you're the only one who can do it, he then eliminates when you go too far, which I tend to do, being a stage actor particularly. I find him rather weird and odd and caricaturish and wonderful.
My name is Gabriel Figueroa. I'm the director of cinematography of this picture, La Noche de la Iguana. This is my first film with John Huston, a great director, and I have admired him for so many pictures and for a long time, and I always had an interest to work with him.
Okay. Roll the camera. Silencio! Roll it.
Certainly, he's in absolute command on this particular location. His word is law, and I approve of that very strongly.
He has a very special facility to, I suppose the words inspire one, but I hate to say inspire because it sounds so pompous, but he does inspire one enormously.
There's a kind of mystery in the way that Huston feeds feeling to his players from his own reservoir of emotion. He's charged with temperament, but doesn't go in for fireworks. He's been through it all before. Classics like Treasure of Sierra Madre, The Maltese Falcon, Moulin Rouge, The African Queen. His sets are deceptively calm before they burst into life.
When you think of how little time they had to build this place, it's quite extraordinary that it was done in the time. The whole location and set is built up a hill. And this climb, first thing in the morning and about 50 times during the day, reduced my legs and everybody else's legs to jelly by the evening, and we were all complete wrecks. But we've got very fit, and we haven't put on any weight, and I think most of us have enjoyed the location enormously.
The physical problem of building a set in a period, building not only a set, but a accommodations for a crew in the period of time we had were tremendous. There were no roads leading to Ms. Maloya from Puerto Vallarta. We have a permanent crew of 125 that was necessary to house and feed. To do this, we built an entire miniature city on Ms. Maloya.
Quiet now. Quiet. Roll it.
Yes, that looks all right. That looks all right.
This set was dense rainforest just 4 months ago, crawling with scorpions and iguanas. Now it's ready for one of Burton's biggest, toughest scenes. Tormented by alcohol, he finds himself lashed to a hammock and tries to break free. Huston will shoot this sequence over and over, then show the footage the next day in the projection room at Ms. Maloya. Burton will refuse to watch.
I saw the first film I was ever in. I was very aware of the rushes because I saw all the rushes too. And then when I saw the film, I thought they'd cut out all the good stuff that I'd done. And so I started to dislike the director and the cutter. And probably they were right. And so I decided that in order to make myself feel amiable towards everybody in the set, I would never anymore go to see rushes.
Every seventh day, Huston shuts down the set and people are on their own. Some of them feel the urge to try something foolish, like Little League polo. The iguana is a shifty-eyed super lizard who's been skulking through the Mexican jungle for millions of years. Without this specimen, Huston would have no picture. He stars in the title role. Through planning, instinct, and inspired improvising, John Huston is shaping a motion picture. He collaborated on the script with Anthony Vea. He has thought through the story hundreds of times. Now, he commands a company of 125 highly skilled motion picture workers. To each of them, he must communicate his conception of the finished film. He must know about more than actors and acting. He has to understand cameras, sound, lighting, logistics. He's a combination of sensitive artist and decisive field general. This is the meaning of being a director. It is one of the most demanding professions in the world. Huston always denies it.
So far as directing the actors and the crew is concerned, well, I direct just as little as possible. And I get as much from others as I possibly can. Some of the best ideas I've ever had have come from other people.
The trouble with him is he's such a marvellous actor that he can always act your part much better than you can. And I go straight home at night and put a bullet through my brain because he did it so beautifully.
Huston is a man that has the ability to get along with people.
He's a master. Everybody that has worked with him, that is working now with him, always learns something from him.
To John Huston, making motion pictures is a way of life. He's been doing it for a quarter of a century. It brings him a vitality and excitement, even serenity, that he can achieve in no other way. This is how he tells people around the world his very personal feelings about the beauty and pain and drama of being alive on this earth. Today, and for 72 days in the hidden paradise of Ms. Maloya, he is telling it through the night of the iguana.